Welcome to Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Good evening, guys. Just tuning in. I'm going to deviate a little bit from my script here. I got a show sheet here. I'm Leon Francis, as that AI guy just said. This is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. A lot of times, because I get in kind of late in the evening, sometimes there's breaking news that's happening, as I'm driving in, and this is one of those times where that happened. We're gonna talk about, it's May, and the whole mental health, industry. That thing is it a big grift? Is it a hustle, or is it help? Mental health awareness month, and then you got the progressive policy making that Democrats impose make us less safe, and I'm going to give you some examples of that. We're going to talk a little bit about the political and redistricting battles that are ahead of the midterms, the things that are going on right now. In case you don't know, or you haven't heard, Supreme Court in Virginia, and Louisiana, as a matter of fact, said, you can't redistrict based solely on race. So obviously, you know, obviously, Democrats are all wee-weed up because that's their whole bag. That's how they gerrymander, based on race, and some of the districts just look insane. We're going to talk about that. And then my buddy Perry, from the Due North Political Podcast. You see, the hat behind me there, a sweet hat too. A couple weeks ago, he asked me a question, and I answered it. But the more I thought about it, like, the darker the place that I went. I'll just say that. We're gonna talk about that. Um, Also, a couple of wild stories. Like, I don't know if you know who Chud the Builder is. I had no idea. A friend of mine sent me this story, and I looked into it, and whoo, it's a doozy. Like, this thing, oh, and after I started researching it, and this shows you how the algorithm works. after I started researching that story about Chud the Builder, just started getting videos in my news feed and my Twitter feed, and like, so it's crazy. Now what I don't know, 5 days ago, I never heard of the guy. Didn't, but apparently he's some big deal, And we're going to talk about a shooting that happened with old Chud the Builder. And then we're going to talk about that Oregon cop. And I posted about this guy. The Oregon cop, he's talking to and it's insane that this guy is just water cooler talking to his buddies, and he ends up having to resign because of it. And this is a problem. This is a problem that I see in America because, again, and if you follow me on my social media, you know how I feel about that. But I would hate to think that, like me and some of my Marine buddies, or me and some of my just down home good old boys, we're sitting around shooting the breeze, and someone records the conversation, and then one day, my friend or whoever is speaking, uh, that video gets leaked. He gets branded, a racist or a bigot, and loses his job. Loses it. Just, to me, that is insane. Like, this story, and we're going to talk about it, makes me, on one hand, almost want to rethink conversations that I have with, especially over the phone. Like, in person, I think I'll be the same, but over the phone, I think, especially, and this is the sad part, it won't be me that gets in trouble. It'll be like if I have a white friend, my white friend will get in trouble. I won't get in trouble, but he will, or friend or friends or whatever. So we're going to talk about that and my thoughts on that. Before we dig into that, though, like, just when I was coming in, breaking news: the Colorado governor Jared Polis, and I think the guy's an idiot, but in this instance, he did the right thing. He commuted the sentence of Tina Peters, and he's ordering her release from prison on June 1st. So, in case you don't remember who Tina Peters is, and a lot of my friends probably follow this story because, the whole 2020 stolen election, that whole thing. This is that Gold Star mom who stood in the breach of that stolen election of 2020, and she should have been honored, in my humble opinion, not imprisoned, but she was. Tina Peters courageously stood up for election integrity when so many others just stayed silent on it because they were afraid. And they had a right to be afraid because everyone in the mainstream media, if you question the 2020 election, they went at you hard, hard. They came after your job. They came after, like, your social media. If you had any media presence at all, that was done. So, with good reason, a lot of folks just stayed mum. Even on this platform right here, any of these platforms that I'm on, once upon a time, you could not speak ill of the results of the 2020 elections. You couldn't do it. You'd be automatically kicked off the platform. Like, midstream, you'd be kicked off the platform. Tina Peters stood up for election integrity, and for that, she was targeted, persecuted, and thrown in jail by an actual weaponized justice system. And in the news bite that I saw, Governor Polis admitted that the punishment was excessive. He called out the biased judge who punished Tina for her beliefs. And he said this judge punished her for what she thought, not what she did, not the charges. Her co-defendants received slaps on the wrist. Yet this very patriotic Gold Star mom, I think she got like 4 years or something, 4 to 7 years, something just crazy like that. And it was never justice. It was 100% political revenge. That's what it was. But thanks to President Trump and relentless public pressure, me included, she's going home. And to me, this is a big victory for free speech, for an election transparency, and for every American who refuses to accept a rigged election. Like, apparently, we all have just kind of moved on from that. We forget there are some folks still in jail today for calling it out, not for, like, we all saw the video in Atlanta where they said they had a water main break and it wasn't, and they sent everybody home. The Democrats came back in, pulled out, rows and rows of ballots and started feeding those bad boys. We all saw that. We also all saw the Democrats putting up newspaper and cardboard so the folks outside couldn't see inside. The election judges and the folks that were there to make sure everything was on the up and up. There's video, like tons of it. And they did that. Yet you were not supposed to question it. None of those people spent the day in jail. But you got folks like Tina Peters who are in jail. And so I think that this is a very, very good thing here. And it's great for Feel Good Friday. I mean, and if it wasn't for this wind out here in North Dakota, it would be a perfect day, So just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. I thought that was a pretty good thing. Especially, and I'm of two minds about this because my personal beliefs are we still have not gone hard enough in uncovering all the crap that went on there. And I think the Republicans don't want to really get into it. They don't. I don't even think Trump really wants to dig into it. But a lot between that and COVID, the reason that we all mistrust our institutions is because of that and things like that. What's up, Doug? Dan, what's up? But anyway, gonna dig into this show a little bit. It is May, so that's Mental Health Awareness Month. And my question to the good folks out there, is this a hustle or healthcare? Because I call it an industry. And it is, in my humble opinion. This is the official month of mental health awareness. I guess my core question would be: are we actually helping people or building a self perpetuating industry? Dave, I look at the stats. And what I see is rising mental health diagnosis versus actual outcomes. And I see something even more insidious than that. We have, in my humble opinion, a therapy culture. We have over medication. We have incentives. And inevitably long-term social negative societal impacts. When does, and this is a question I'll just throw out there, when does awareness become profitable dependency? Answer me that. You guys can throw it in the chat and just let me know what you think. Do you think that the mental health industry is healthcare or a hustle? Just throw that in the comments and we'll talk about it. But I'm just gonna right off the bat, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of mental health awareness month. I'm not a fan of Republicans and Democrats always screaming about mental health. Do I think that there's a mental health problem in America? Yeah, yeah, and I think it's in large part created because we wrap our society in so much craziness. We're basically creating mentally unstable people. And I'm going to dig into Blackbeard Blackbeard's logic on this right after we hit this first break. And I want you to think about all the craziness that we've seen, especially over the last 10 years. I'd even go further back, last 20 years. Society is getting progressively worse. But we got a big industry out of it. We're going to talk about it for sure right after this break.
I am Leon Francis, host of Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Did you ever wonder why people run for public office? I didn't plan on running for Congress, but I got tired of watching politicians go to Washington, promising North Dakotans the world, and delivering leftovers. I'm Alex Balaz, and I'm running to be your U.S. House Representative.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on now.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Was at a critical juncture. Rising debt, unsupported first responders, and detrimental programs and services have become the norm. And people are feeling it. Higher costs, increases in crime, big decisions, not always enough transparency. I'm Michelle Turnberg, and I'm running for mayor in order to change that. We need to focus on public safety, affordability, clear communication, and core services, not niche special projects. It's time for a new approach. I'm ready to lead Fargo forward. Vote Michelle Turnberg for mayor on June 9th.
Welcome back. Welcome back. My name's Leon Francis. This is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'm going to read a couple of comments here. Big Dan from Dan Hager TB says, in my opinion, mental health has, through vaccination and prescription drugs, emasculated our men chemically. I agree with you. Big Dave says it's only going to get worse. My teacher friends say boys 12 to 18 are acting like girls 20 years ago, 100%. Low T everywhere. Here's another one. It's part of how docile our society is now, and basically created a generation of apathetic people. Yep, you got to have those drones and clones to have a pliant society that you can fleece the hell out of, which is what's going on. All right, let's dig into a couple things. So I saw this. Here, let me pull it up. This is Time Magazine, as a matter of fact. Is mental health care working in the U.S.? And they've, I guess, tracked it since 2002. And look at that timeline. Can you guys see that? Look at that timeline. That is insane. Look at the difference. Change in rate of these of those getting mental health care. That's the black line. Change in rate reporting excellent mental health care. That's the red line. And if you see how wide the gap is in the 2020s, so the time we're living in now, that is astounding. And they're saying here, since 2002, the share of Americans getting mental health care has grown by a third, and the share of those reporting excellent mental health has fallen by nearly as much. So the more health care we get, the crappier the healthcare becomes. How's that a thing? Now, again, I've been on record saying that I'm not a fan. I have conservative friends that always talk about, oh, the mental health crisis, and anytime we bring up guns, the thing that just cheeses my grits is when they say, well, mental health screenings for, like, no, red flag laws are propped up with that type of mentality, and I think it's garbage. Every year we get bombarded with slogans and hashtags and celebrities telling us to check on your friends and break the stigma, while the mental health industry just rakes in billions and billions of dollars. I took a hard look at this so-called industry, and I have been doing this for quite some time. And what I found, it's not compassionate. It's dark. It's predatory, and I think it's built on lies. I remember, and this is just a slight aside, a argument I had with a sister of mine. Not going to name any names, but she had two girls, and the youngest was a boy, and the boy had energy. Oh my God! And she's a single mom too, so you just want to put that out there, because to me that is a big part of it. She's a single mom, and in my humble opinion, this boy had too much energy for her, and we got into it about this because she allowed uh, the doctors and the teachers to tell her that kid, that there was something wrong with him, and that he had the hyper, attention disorder, whatever, made up godly gook they use, and then they put that kid on Ritalin, and it stunted his growth. Kid was on it for a very long time, and until it became painfully obvious that it was stunting his growth, and he was already in high school, and he was like a full head shorter than all of his peers. Like, it was ridiculous. The kid just was not growing. And then she took him off, and the kid shot up. I mean, he's not a huge kid now, but the difference was unbelievable. And it goes back to what the argument I had with her. there's nothing wrong with that boy. There's something wrong with the environment that you put that boy into, and you want him to fit into that environment. And nature and God didn't make him to fit into that environment, that artificial environment that you put him in. That kid wanted to run. He wanted to play. He wanted to pick up snakes and worms and swing outside and try to wrestle with his father, and all the stuff that boys like to do, but girls don't. So if you're a single mom and you're trying to deal with a normal boy, it seems like that energy is just like alien to you, because it is. It's called, I used to call it little bitty baby testosterone. That's what it is. And you're not equipped to deal with that. And that's just one personal story from me. But this entire empire of therapists and psychiatrists and big pharma, what they did to my little nephew didn't heal him, because he was not broken. What it's doing is it's actually pathologizing normal human energy levels and struggles and things like that. It is keeping people hooked on pills that do not work. They can't work. That the whole lie about, oh, your serotonin levels need to be regulated. That whole thing. Have you seen how many, scroll through your feed, whatever social media feed you have, and just check out the SSRIs. It's insane. Not to mention all of the school pew-pewers. I don't want to get knocked off of social media platforms for saying a word, but all those guys, every one of them, every single one of them on SSRIs, every single one. And to me, there should be outrage, but like Dan said, they conditioned us. They conditioned us. Their goal was to keep us hooked on these pills as young as possible. As young as possible. That's why those little boys, with the ADD in preschool and kindergarten and elementary school, and we got to get those guys on something, or they're never going to learn. When all he really needed was some adult testosterone. That's it. That is the thing that regulates properly that boy's energy, is adult testosterone, because he's got a little bitty baby testosterone. His body doesn't know what to do with it. So what you do is, a guy like me sees that boy, sees the mom rocking in the corner, pulling her hair out, and goes, ooh, this could get bad. Hey kid, let's go outside. That's all that's needed. Not the pills, not the therapy sessions that are making other people like millionaires and billionaires. Not any of that stuff. Not that industry. All you need is God's plan for man and mankind. The natural order of things fixes it. Big Pharma is not healing us. It's making us sicker. And behind it all, the pharmaceutical companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying politicians and regulators so they get to keep their profits. That's what's happening, folks. They they lobby to protect their profits, and they just keep that grift going. They keep those prescriptions flowing no matter what the science actually says or what common sense actually says. Let's start at the foundation. The whole, I mentioned earlier, the chemical imbalance theory. For years, they told us that depression is just low serotonin levels. You pop a pill, you feel better. That was a lie then. And the thing that just kind of gets my goose is now the researchers that told us that lie then, they're quietly admitting that there's no solid evidence for it. None. The studies don't hold up. The benefits of SSRIs are negligible at best and harmful at worst. And the long term effects were often like hidden from the public. Yet there are millions of people on these drugs, including kids, for everything from everyday sadness to just basic life. And like the example that I mentioned earlier, like there was nothing wrong with my nephew. The thing that was wrong was his mom. That's the thing that was wrong. His mom put him in a life situation that was not natural or ideal. And because she didn't understand that whole strong black woman BS that they had been feeding black women for years and years and years was all garbage, all of it. There's no strong single black women. Those they've been fed a trough of lies that they ate up, and now that community, my community, is suffering horribly from it. I mean, we're not even going to talk about the mass of kids that have been in all kinds of big cities. You get all these kids. There are now curfews that have to be enforced because all these kids will just go out and cause mayhem. None of them have a dad at home, because if they did, if they had an actual dad at home, he'd snatch a knot in their butts. If you're familiar with that saying, like, no, you're not. Who are you hanging out with? No, that guy's a thug. Absolutely not. Like Trey's dad and Boys in the Hood. Nah, we're not doing that. Not to be sexist, but women dominate the social 100%. Don't get me started on that, buddy. And women generally are generally prone to emotional thinking and reaction. Would be nice for there to be balance with men to be more logical. I agree, Dan, 100%. Real Christian men need to stand up. Going to church every Sunday is nice for a community, but it's not going to change the direction of our country. We need godly men to run for office. I agree with that, but again, stories like we're going to talk about later in the show, kind of like good men don't even want to deal with it. And I think that things are going to come to a head. Like, this slide aside, over there in England, in the EU right now, Tony Robinson is holding a massive event because their society allowed effeminate beta males to get all of these high positions in their government, while the workaday, the guys with calluses and on their hands and dirt under their fingernails, they're worried about their family. They're going to work. They're trying to what happened over there is all the beta males ended up getting all the power. All the feminists got in there with them, and the society took a dump. Took a dump. Did you know that the EU is poorer than our poorest state? I think Mississippi has a higher GDP than the EU. Did you know that? And people will point to like all the social programs that they have. Suicidal empathy is their biggest import. Suicidal empathy. Tony Robinson went to jail because of suicidal empathy. These idiots allowed the mass migration of third world countries into the EU, who obviously did not assimilate. And these guys, they come in and they started sexually assaulting. I don't know if I can say the actual word without getting kicked off of multiple platforms, so I'll just say it like that. All of these little girls, and they were getting slaps on the wrist because some of the judges would say idiotic things like in their culture, yada, yada, yada. And what's crazy over there is you have free speech unless the government says you don't. So what Tony did was and you can't like get online and say, hey, these guys did this thing and they got a slap on the wrist. That's illegal. What Tony did was, because the censorship is so bad over there, he stood on the steps of the courthouse. He got the docket and he started reading names and the crimes. And he went to jail for that. And he came out swinging. And his first rally was massive. They call him right wing. They call him, white supremacist who hates brown people. You know, the normal shtick of the beta male and the feminist. And to show you how far off the rails it has gotten over there, that I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's a reporter in Canada. He's a really good reporter. He reported on like the trucker strike, and then with that idiot, that prime minister, like basically froze all of their bank accounts and all of that stuff. The guy is solid reporter. He is not allowed to go to the EU and cover Tony Robinson because he's too right wing, is what they're saying. Now, he lives in Canada, so he's a subject of England. He even got awards for his reporting on a bunch of. He's got the highest awards you can get over there in their loony world. But because he's telling the truth, he's not even allowed to go. Like, he can't be in the country when this is going on. Yeah, Axe, I get it. But that's what happens when your country is run by people who have suicidal empathy, who don't recognize real world problems need real world solutions, not something cooked up in a Yale think tank. It's sad. Now we'll get back to this, the whole SSRI and the whole big pharma. Like, the side effects of that, they're real. It's emotional numbness, sexual dysfunction, weight gain, brutal withdrawals that keeps people trapped, and it messes with your mind. And while everybody is talking about, oh, we need to do something about the gun violence and the school pew-pewings, nobody's talking about the fact that all of those people that committed all of these atrocities were broken people, and they were broken by Big Pharma. They were all either on SSRIs or coming off of SSRIs. Every single one of them. It's not medicine. In my humble opinion, it is a multi-billion-dollar hustle. And what they did is they expanded the diagnosis. They lowered the bar for disorder and then turned normal emotion like grief and stress and boredom into a crippling, lifelong medical condition. Again, the micro is my nephew, who was told that there was something wrong with him, and there was nothing wrong with him. He was just a living, breathing boy. That's it. That was what was wrong with him. That's it. The thing with the whole ADHD, I think I'm saying that right. Over 20% of teenage boys supposedly have it. These are the statistics that the eggheads and the politicians push on us. 20% of boys supposedly have it. And so they're going to try to drug up as many of these people as possible. And the long-term benefits of the drugs that they're giving them are minimal. While kids deal with stunted growth and other harms, behavior problems get medicated instead of getting fixed with discipline, purpose, and real-world solutions. Because in their world, nothing is real. Everything is subjective. Yeah, infertility, low T, 100%. And I'll wrap this segment up by saying this. The truth is that most mental health struggles are not solved by pills or endless therapy that often reinforces victimhood. And again, I'm going through this in my own family. Family members going to therapy, and the therapist is basically affirming their obvious their victimhood status. Oh, why, poor me. Yes, you know they are hard on you. Oh, girl, you deserve so much. No. Resilience, mental resilience, physical resilience comes from meaning, responsibility, strong communities, faith, exercise, sleep, and facing reality head on, and not attempting to escape it with chemicals. This industry profits from despair while ignoring the real root cause. Family breakdown, screen addiction, horrible diets, and a culture that tells you you're broken and you're powerless. In my humble opinion, Mental Health Awareness Month is not awareness. It's a marketing strategy for a failing system. In my humble opinion, you got to question these experts. Distrust the quick prescription. We got to reclaim our minds. And the mental health industry isn't there to save you. It's making you sicker for profits. And I think it's high time we woke up to that realization. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Guns in the 701 Network. We'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns in the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
LAUER Auto Repair. LAUER, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Welcome back. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Guns in the 701 Network on this blustery Friday evening in North Dakota. Like, it's the wind is crazy. Twice this week. Like, I'm trying to drive the truck, and I don't have a tiny truck. Like, my truck has a little bit of beef to it. You know, it's a Dodge 1500. And I'm watching cars just moving like an invisible hand is on them. My truck, I'm like, I have to keep it almost at a 15-degree angle when I have to know which way the wind is blowing, and it's kind of keep my steering wheel at kind of a 15-degree angle just to go straight because the wind is just pushing me all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, if you're driving like a box van or like, I don't know, a delivery van or one of those, I don't know what you call it, transit vans. Oh my God. it's crazy. Or a semi. And if you look in the news, you'll see like they had a big, pardon the pun, dust up, out east, further east than I am, and northeast anyway. It's just crazy. Just craziness. We are the windy city. I'm just going to say that. Well, the windy state anyway. And I'm hoping we get some rain because I saw a story today about farmers losing a ton of topsoil. And if you guys have been following my social media, you know that I just planted. Well, my wife had been bugging me about getting that garden going. So, and we're sorry about that. And so this year we're I did till everything, but we are planting above ground. So I tilled everything. I boxed it all up, filled it in with dirt, and we're gonna have that going. But good God, the amount the wind is taking out of that box, it's crazy. I know the feeling. Try going down I-25 through Wyoming with an empty 54-foot drive. Yep. Dust lung. I think, man, I don't know, something. And I don't take allergy pills. I used to have really bad allergies, but that was back when I had no neck and I wasn't working out. But I don't do the whole allergy thing anymore. But thinking maybe, dust lung, cigar lung, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so a couple weeks ago, this is the story that I'm supposed to be talking about, and not about how windy North Dakota is. I forget the Due North political podcast with my friend Perry Schumacher. He asked me a question, and I was talking about the whole gain of function bigotry and the Southern Poverty Law Center, that whole thing that they got caught up in. And I said that, they had perfected what I call gain of function bigotry. They create the problem, fund it the hate, and then ask for money to fight it. That whole thing. And if you missed it, here's that conversation. And we got into it. Here we go.
Leon, I want to go to question 4. This is a big one. Another Democrat scandal hit the news last week. I want to simplify it for the viewer. Basically, think of Jussie Smollett on steroids. The Southern Poverty Law Center paid people to do racist things so that they could point to that racism being a problem throughout the country when it actually wasn't. They faked it. They would accuse people of being as racist as the people they were paying to be racist. Leon, is this as low as the left has gone, or can they continue to go lower?
You repeat the lie long and loud enough, especially to like the low information followers who follow like CNN and MSNBC and TikTok, and suddenly everybody's worried about bigotry popping out from everyone. Parents worried about boys and girls' bathroom become bigots now. Maha cleaning up toxic school lunches or demanding secure elections get branded as extremists, and threats to democracy. People that went with the narrative that there's a bigot behind every bush. There's a racist behind every door frame. Like, I can't walk out of my house without, somebody in the Klan hood going, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going?" That it boggles my mind, man.
The key is they'd be paying the Klan's member to attack you. That's the good about it. It is Jussie Smollett on steroids. And folks, remember, Biden said Charlottesville. They paid the organization leader of Charlottesville that day. They paid him to create that.
Yeah.
And Biden said use that as his excuse to run. Even the second time, he couldn't get it out of his head. It was such a severe problem that he had to run again. I mean, this is legion. I try to have integrity. Okay. I try to come up with a Republican thing that I could compare it to. I can't find a single one. Everything, like you said, is a grift. It's all a lie. It's all Goebbels propaganda to create an image that does not exist.
Yeah.
But people fund it. And like you said, you use a perfectly good, once upon a time, good organization, and you hollow it out, and you corrupt it, and you live off the reputation they.
Yeah, so that's basically the conversation that we had. And I called it gain of function bigotry. But the more I sat with that, the more I thought about what he asked, and Perry gets you to dig. He gets that noodle cooking. The more I thought about it, I started thinking about things like 9/11 and the questions that followed, and how it led straight to the Patriot Act, and how great that's been for us. And then we got a wave of Muslim immigration. Hundreds of thousands, millions maybe. Every time the news cycle slowed, boom, we got another terror scare. Talking about like the crux of the question that was spinning in my head is how much of this is just a big psyop? Again, there is a mistrust of government entities, a helpful distrust, because what we thought they once were, they're using that. They're using the hollowed out husk of what they once were to operate, and they expect you to have that same level of trust in them because of what they once were. You start thinking about things like the endless mass shootings just when we need them by troubled men with guns who all been medicated. All of them. Media hype on overdrive. Politicians screaming for common sense gun control. And the cycle just keeps repeating. And again, if you grew up in a saner time, you remember, think back with me here. You remember gun racks at the high school. loaded gun racks at the high school. Access to firearms was never a problem in America. But because they're trying to herd us into a certain direction, seems like their gun violence is popping up every week. And it makes me think. Start peeling that onion, and it gets ugly really fast. Think about this. The FBI has been awful close to a lot of these shooters. Think about Las Vegas. Think about Pulse nightclub. FBI was there. Virginia Tech. FBI was literally right behind the guy that carried that out. Saw him do it. As a matter of fact, he's on the phone and you can hear the gunshots on. That's how close he was. And it was his informant. Think about the synagogues. Think about Old Dominion. That's all FBI. That's the common thread. The controversies pile up. Perry asked me if the Southern Poverty Law Center was as low as they could go. And now, I believe that they and others have gone much lower. What I called gain of function bigotry works the same for gun control, for national security. Create or assist the fear, amplify it, and then demand more power as the solution. We're living in a literal age of psyops. Many of them are government funded or enabled, all designed to keep the uninformed afraid enough to surrender the individual liberties our founders guaranteed us. Create the crisis, stoke the fear, harvest the power. And it seems to me that it's working. It's working. It's why you see all of these idiots out protesting ICE. Like, ICE is there to protect our communities from criminal aliens, and they have been doing that for a very long time, but now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. It's a white supremacist behind every... No. That's not a thing. Every time they need a crisis to push us one way or another, they find it. How many of you have heard of it, MK Ultra? That whole thing. You think that went away? They just had a bunch of files mysteriously disappear relating to MK Ultra. And then you think about it. Think about that chuckle nut that at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. How do you get a guy like that to do the thing that he did? How about that Preddy guy? He's a nurse. From all outward indications, he just a normal dude. How do you get him to do what he did? I think, and this is just my humble opinion, I think they didn't scrap MK Ultra. I think they perfected it. And that's just my humble opinion on that. We have to see this stuff for what it is. Because once you trade liberty for the illusion of safety, you rarely get either one of them back. Look at the EU. Look at the EU. Look at Iran, for crying out loud. Those people couldn't fight back if they wanted to. And the media is telling us that they want to. So I guess we got to go with our media sources. But think about that. They couldn't fight back if they wanted to because they allowed themselves to be disarmed. Same with Venezuela. They voted in the communists because capitalism bad. First thing the commie did was disarm everyone. So, could they go lower, Perry? I think so. And speaking of Due North political podcast, let me throw that out there. I want to show you this snazzy hat, too. Look at that thing. I'll go ahead and throw that bad boy on. Yeah, I like the fit and everything. Stay up there. Yeah. Speaking of this Tuesday coming up. Oh, wow, that's loud. I must have monkeyed with something over there. This Tuesday, we have, let me see, Supreme Court, North Dakota Supreme Court Justice Jared Tuff will be in the hot seat. And yours truly will be asking him questions. Mike will be asking him questions. Perry will be asking him questions. So we're all going to be asking him questions and getting feedback. So make sure you tune in for that. Due North Political Podcast, 6 o'clock on my social media. And I think our Facebook page we should be able to do live streaming from there. So check that out. That's Tuesday, Due North Political Podcast. It should be great. I'm going to hit one more commercial. And then we're going to come back. What do I have here? And so we have the segment called the hot seat. And so what normally happens is we bring someone in that is interesting, and then we ask them a series of questions, like, it's the hot seat segment. But we also have like my 2 cents and, those things. And I'm the incinerator. Just so you understand, I normally bring a little touch of fire and vinegar and all that great stuff. But so when we come back, I think I want to talk about the progressive policies making America less safe. I want to touch on that. I think on Tuesday we're going to talk about the politics of the redistricting battles that are going on. So I'm going to touch on that, and then I'm going to try to fit old Chud the Builder and the Eugene police officer all in probably half an hour. So I'm going to try to do rapid fire, but you know me, sometimes I get to talking, I don't watch my clock like I should, and things go a little long. But Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Guns in the 701 Network. We will be right back right after this message.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Anvil Brand LLC, raising and training tomorrow's barrel horses right out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Tracy and her family are great American patriots who not only support the Second Amendment, but they also promoted what you're looking for, top quality barrel horses. Go ahead and give Tracy a call at 701-471-6629 and tell them Guns and 701.com sent you. That's Anvil Brand LLC out of Bismarck, North Dakota.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Visit HortonLasercraft.com today and start crafting your perfect gift. For more info, email them at HortonLasercraft@yahoo.com or call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
T-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink up my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
I was at a critical juncture. Rising debt, unsupported first responders, and detrimental programs and services have become the norm. And people are feeling it. Higher costs, increases in crime, big decisions, not always enough transparency. I'm Michelle Turnberg, and I'm running for mayor in order to change that. We need to focus on public safety, affordability, clear communication, and core services, not niche special projects. It's time for a new approach. I'm ready to lead Fargo forward. Vote Michelle Turnberg for mayor on June 9th.
So, as you could probably tell, I am 100% pro Michelle Turnberg. The other candidates, in my humble opinion, are just way too liberal. Way too liberal. Fargo is in the hole $1.7 billion, I think. And you can tell who the liberals want to put in there. They want Josh in there because, one, he's a homosexual, and to them that's a big thing. Two, he's a huge liberal, so he's outraged everybody combined. That dude has a lot of it. I would argue most of it is from out of state. So what they're going to do, they're going to end up installing that dude, who is a acolyte of John Strand, and they're going to further run Fargo into the ground. You think you got needles in your parks now? Just wait. Just wait. As a matter of fact, that's a good segue into this next segment. We're going to talk a little bit about liberal policies and, their hallmark on society. So I want to play you a couple of videos here, and then we're gonna talk about. This is Brooklyn.
This is legislation that will expand CCTV cameras.
Seattle. That's
that
the
could
Seattle
potentially
mayor right there.
be taken control of by the Trump administration. And this is legislation that was opposed by immigrants' rights groups, by civil liberties groups, and by the member of color caucus in the legislature. And I'll quote from their letter. This technology, and technology similar to it, has recently been in the news for its failure to be meaningfully and consistently secured, leading to breaches that could result in sensitive data being shared by ICE and putting our immigrant and refugee.
Now, I want to stop it there because what she just said there should piss off everybody. She's worried about the immigrant community and ICE getting these video feeds, like, so those two dudes that are back there, they're both illegal immigrants let in under Biden. And what they just did was, that was a 63 or 64-year-old American citizen. And they just beat that dude up, went through his pockets. But her concern is not for her American citizen. It's for the immigrant population, because she is anti-ICE. This is what happens when you get Democrats. And obviously, she's a feminist. She's a liberal. Suicidal empathy. Right there. That's what that is. Here, let's go to Karen Bass. I like this one because I'm a huge fan of Spencer Pratt. And if you guys aren't familiar with him, he's running to be the mayor of Chicago. I mean, not Chicago. Governor of California. Good God. And so he's put out a series of videos, and he's like the only common sense person I've seen. But he created this video. This is Karen Bass.
I'm Karen Bass, and I'm running on my accomplishments.
Los Angeles on fire. Mayor nowhere to be found.
We were so prepared for wildfires. I didn't even have to be in the country when the town burned. I've addressed the homeless problem. Now, most of them won't stab you as long as you don't make eye contact. Our climate change policy is so strong, we've brought down energy use in the Palisades by 99%. Almost none of the needles in children's playgrounds have AIDS on them. If you like the last 4 years, you're going to love the next 4. Vote back.
Now, this chuckle nut is the idiot that was off visiting communist leaders while her city burned down, literally burning down, and she's meeting with. And again, this is what happens with Democrat leadership, with suicidal empathy. The fire chief was a lesbian woman who is on record saying that, you know, if the house is burning down, it's not her job to run in there. The police chief was a lesbian woman because, you know, they had quotas, minority quotas to fill, so they filled them. So when everything goes to hell in a handbasket, you cannot count on these people to hold society up, because they can't. They can't. This is one of the reasons why I am for raising the voting age, is because you don't get idiots like this with an older population that knows better. I think that's a huge problem, a huge flaw in our voting system. Is that, I mean, outside of the rigged elections and just a plethora of other things that it doesn't seem to me that Republicans want fixed any more than the Democrats do. But let's move on. And you know what? While I'm here, let's do the Spencer Pratt. Here is his video. This is the first
Mayor
one.
Bass lives. You notice something? Or here, where Nithya Raman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live. This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor. For my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are going to get the golden age of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I like this guy, and I just wanted to run that commercial because I like him. and he's been all over the news now. I think he's running as an independent, but married, straight, male, independent, pissed off at all the right people. You know, Los Angeles could do a lot worse. Now, let's go to Chicago, see how great they're doing.
Of 243 criminals who were on electric monitors like ankle bracelets. That includes 21 murderers and 13 attempted murderers. Cook County State's attorney says this, quote, clearly demonstrates how current safeguards are falling short, particularly when electronic monitoring is available to those charged with the most threatening and heinous crimes. This follows a string of high-profile incidents involving offenders out on monitoring, including this man who allegedly shot and killed a Chicago police officer and critically wounded another following an armed robbery arrest.
So, let's talk about this. Cook County Chief Judge disclosed that 8% of their 3,048 defendants on electronic monitoring, so that's 243 of them, they're AWOL, including 21 charged with murder, 13 with attempted murder, and 29 with aggravated sexual criminal assault. Think about that. That is unbelievable. And look at these two chuckle nuts. These are their leaders right here. It is amazing to me how these people get elected. Amazing. Like everything in society goes to crap when you elect people like this. And they keep getting elected. Like it'd be one thing if you're charged with murder and you don't get an ankle bracelet. You get $1 million bond or something like that. But in these liberal cities, you can't do that. So a lot of these guys are back out on the street the same day. They get arraigned, they get the electronic monitoring, and 240 of them are walking free. Now, again, suicidal empathy. These people keep getting elected because they promise to protect the working class and the poor and the vulnerable, and then they keep delivering disaster after disaster after disaster. These Democrats, these leaders in America's biggest cities have turned their constituents into collateral damage in an endless experiment of ideology over reality. And we got to wake up to that. I mean, I understand. I live in North Dakota. So why do I care what Mondami in New York is doing? Or these idiots in Chicago? Or the folks in Oregon? Because bit by bit, crap flows downstream. And again, I just told you about Fargo. We were literally giving out, well, not we were, they are giving out needles to the tune of millions because suicidal empathy, a beta's brain, a feminist brain, a weak mind that think that they can bend reality to their liking. And who suffers? They were handing out crack pipes until I made a big deal about it. And they walked that back. But you can still get your needles and your boofing kits and all of that stuff. I'm not going to explain what a boofing kit is because it physically makes me retch. It's crazy to me. I mean, again, let's look at Chicago, Cook County. 8% of the folks on electronic monitoring have gone AWOL. These aren't like statistics on a spreadsheet. These are real people's neighbors and real victims' families. And who runs Cook County in Chicago? Democrats. It's been one-party rule for decades. They defunded the police. They pushed catch and release policies. And now they're shocked. Shocked, I tell you, that the system they built is broken. The state's attorney herself calling it alarming. But it's too late for the families that are burying their loved ones. And it's not isolated, as I showed you. San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Baltimore, same story. Record homelessness, open drug markets, smash and grab thefts, turned into public sport. The schools that trap kids in failure while administrators pat themselves on the back for equity. Equity. I talked about Bismarck Public Schools. There's suicidal empathy going on there. In Fargo, suicidal empathy going there. Higher performing schools who, because of liberal policies, allowed the influx of people that do not deserve to be here, bringing the quality of education down in North Dakota and across the country. This is what happens. This is what happens. This is why if Fargo elects a liberal mayor, there you go. They had a liberal mayor. They're $1.7 billion in the hole. So if you go and double down on stupid, then you're stupid. You're irredeemable, in my humble opinion. And another thing that we don't often talk about is, do you know how many black Christian families in these crap hole cities have been pushing for school choice? And do you know the people that stand against those black Christian families? Teachers Union. Democrats. So instead of allowing these parents to take their kids to a decent, safe school, they'd rather keep them trapped in that environment where the kids don't learn and they're not safe. Good evening, One Cap. But again, that's Democrats. Millions of illegal migrants bust or flown in, overwhelming shelters, hospitals, schools, all while Democrat leaders lecture everyone about compassion and then watch their own working class neighborhoods suffer the consequences. Like Spencer brought out, they don't have to live where your kids go to school or your kids have to walk, or they don't have to live in that squalor. They got the mansions in Beverly Hills and in all the nice places. So their kids will never step on a needle. You know, they don't answer to their constituents. They answer to donors. Again, I'll bring it back to Fargo. Just like Josh, who is getting all that money from outside donors, folks that are not just not in North Dakota, not just not in Fargo, but not in North Dakota. And he has raised more than all the other candidates, including the gal that I support, Michelle Turnberg. So all of the other people, I think there's like 5 or 6 people in that race, he has outraised all of them combined. Think about that. And once he gets in there, he's going to fail his constituents. Because, again, they don't answer to the constituents. They answer to the donors and the activists and the unions and the National Party. The people who can't afford private security or private schools, or they can't afford to flee to the suburbs, the very people Democrats claim to champion, they get left behind with the rising crime, the falling life expectancies in some cities, kids who can't read at grade level, kids who get poked by hypodermic needles because suicidal empathy. It's not bad luck. It's governance by people who prioritize narrative over results, feelings over facts, power over accountability. And the bill keeps getting sent to the very voters who keep handing them the keys. At some point, loyalty has to meet reality. Because the people that are paying the price for all of these Democrat failures are not the Democrat politicians. They're the constituents who trusted them, put them in those positions of power. And it fries my noodle that these people keep getting elected. And I think there's some mechanisms that are being implemented now, and that the Supreme Court victories over the gerrymandering, which I don't think I'm going to have time to get to today, but I will absolutely talk about in on the Due North Political podcast on Tuesday. We'll definitely dig into that. That's one of the topics that we're going to talk about. But here, I'll show you one quick thing. I'm not going to dig too deep into it. So let's do this. I'll spend 2 minutes on this. So this is from the Circuit Court in Tazewell County. On March 6, 2026, the General Assembly of Virginia submitted to Virginia voters a proposed constitutional amendment that authorizes partisan gerrymandering of congressional districts in the Commonwealth. We hold that the legislative process employed to advance the proposal violated Article 11, Section 1, Article 12, Section 1 of the Constitution of Virginia. This constitutional violation incurably taints the resulting referendum votes and nullifies its legal efficacy. And I want to show you this. And we're going to talk about this on Tuesday. But if you look at this, and I'm just going to take Louisiana, because, I was born and raised there. Now, this is a big deal. Do you see how that blue swath in there? Do you know how they got that? They gerrymandered based on race. Same thing they did in Virginia. Same thing. Same thing they do in all of these blue, so you see the current map, and you see the possible redistricting that Republicans are proposing. You have actual districts that are defined not by race. When you define them by race, look at what you have. Look at the difference there. And this is important because this is electoral power here. And that's why they're so wee-weed up. Like, I cannot tell you how many black commentators I've heard saying basically they're setting us back, they're taking voting rights away, they're doing this. No, the thing that Democrats were doing, if it were reversed, would be like there would be no discussion that it would be racist, bigoted. Because you can't district based on race. Like, I thought that was a thing we all understood. But Democrats will grasp and claw at power. They don't give a damn about the law, about the precedent that it sets, about whether or not it's bigoted or not, whether or not it's going to hurt their constituents. They don't care. They don't care. And then you see them all wee-weed up across all of the the media, the mainstream media, social media, and they're livid. They're not going to be able to gerrymander based on race anymore. How many of you even knew that that's how they were doing a lot of this stuff? How many? It is, again, dude, it's insane. This is liberal leadership right here. Now, I'm going to hit a commercial. We're going to come right back, and I'm going to quickly talk about the Eugene, Oregon cop situation. And then I'm going to talk about the whole Chud thing. So, anyway, I'm Leon Francis. This is Blackbeard Logic. We will be back right after this break. Let's do that.
I am Leon Francis, host of Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Did you ever wonder why people run for public office? I didn't plan on running for Congress, but I got tired watching politicians go to Washington, promising North Dakotans the world, and delivering leftovers. I'm Alex Balaz, and I'm running to be your U.S. House representative.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, no!
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
So, Lynette, you are correct. It's supposed to be. But again, Democrats have been doing this for a very long time, illegally, in my humble opinion. These people have no souls. And one of the reasons they don't want like illegals, like Trump wanted you to be an American citizen in order to be counted in the census. And again, tried and true Democrat tactic. They wanted to put brown bodies in America in all of these swing districts in order to sway that political power. But even more insidious, in my humble opinion, Democrats have been using this whole race-based voting district scheme. And we're supposed to ignore because apparently they're all wee-weed up about it because the Supreme Court is saying, yeah, you can't do that. And so you got all these pundits online saying idiotic things like, you know, they're removing voting rights from black people, and oh my God, how can removing race-based voting districts, how can that be a bad thing? And even more pointed, how come when you remove race-based voting district, it only seems to be devastating to black representation and not any other non-white group? Answer me that. Why is it only one demographic that apparently cannot win seats without the government drawing racially engineered maps around them. That single fact should tell you everything you need to know about all the fake outrage. It's not racism. The Supreme Court simply said that race cannot be the predominant factor in drawing districts. That's all they said. Race cannot be the predominant factor in drawing districts. And now we have panic. It's insane to me. It's oh my God. But we're going to talk about it. So I want to let's touch on this Eugene cop first. And I want to preface this, and I did a social media post about it. When men get together, sometimes you have a couple of drinks, loosens up the tongue. When men get together and we talk, sometimes it's not like we speak in a different tone and manner when we are around other like-minded friends, when we're around our buddies, we speak in a certain way. Like some of the things that I say with like Doug or James, I'd never speak to my wife that way. You know, I wouldn't even want her to to come into the room, but it's a thing. And to me, I don't see anything wrong with it. I just don't. And then now you have this 20-year veteran police officer up in Eugene, and I got buddies out of Eugene. My buddy Brent Davis is out there. His dad is Army Special Forces. No, he's Green Beret. Good God, Green Beret. Tons of friends from up there. But this 20-year veteran police officer, guy who has put his life on the line for 2 decades, was forced to resign after body cam footage got leaked online. And so he's in the middle of responding to a protest. And you hear him say this straight, like no filter. And it's sad because part of me thinks, dude, you know, you say something, you know, along the lines of what he said, and I'm going to play it. A guy like me goes, hell yeah. Because that's exactly the type of guy I want protecting my neighborhood. And you got to understand, this is a riot. A riot. I want a dude like this guy protecting my neighborhood, not some polished, I don't know, politician in uniform who's more worried about checking diversity boxes than keeping actual Americans safe. Like I don't, and I'm gonna play it, but I don't think he was hating on anyone. I don't think what he said was racist. What I think is he was just refusing to put foreign communities ahead of people he swore an oath to protect and serve. He was putting America first. Without more men like him, men with courage, the courage to speak the truth and stand for their own country, we are all an inclined plane wrapped helically around an axis. You know what that means? That means we're screwed completely. And now I'm going to play the clip. If I thought I had it here, but now, oh, here it is. Let's go.
West Valley City police officer resigns from his Eugene, Oregon police job.
It comes after body cam footage surfaced of the officer making racist remarks to another former West Valley City police officer.
Now, you'll also notice the spin that the media put on it. Racist.
Natalie Wattis has that video. She's been going through it tonight and joins us live from West Valley City with the details. Natalie.
And to be clear, if this chick was reporting something, I wouldn't believe a thing that. No.
Former officer Martin Siller is heard on body camera in Oregon, gossiping about former colleagues and making racist comments. Former officer Martin Siller worked with the Eugene Police Department in Oregon for 7 years. Before that, he worked at the West Valley City Police Department for roughly 20 years. He turned in his gun and badge after his body camera video from January 30th surfaced. In it, you hear Siller commenting out loud while listening to a podcast.
The Somali and Latino communities. I'm about the American communities. I'm about America.
Now, that's what he said. How many of you hate what he said? Because I don't. He said, F the Somali community. I am about the American community. That's what he said. American. He didn't say, I'm for the white community. He didn't say, F those brown people. I'm for the white community. He didn't say that. That's not what he said. Here, I'm going to replay what he said. Hang on.
Communities. I'm about the American communities. I'm about America, son. So while you're trying to divide us further, I only care about the left-handed Somalis. You know what? The f*** are you talking about?
In the evening of that same day, Siller is heard while patrolling a protest at the Eugene Federal Building per the Daily Emerald.
None of them give a shit about illegal aliens. You know what I mean? They don't know any. Married to one. You think I would be out there?
And speaking.
Did you hear what he said there? He's like, those people don't even know an illegal alien. And if I'm not mistaken, his wife is a legal alien, a legal immigrant. So I didn't hear anything he said that was racist there. To me, he sounds like a pro-America, America first patriot. That's what he sounds like to me.
The person identified as another former West Valley City police officer, gossiping about many former colleagues in Utah and making more racist and homophobic remarks.
I'll never go on a cruise because I'm not old enough and I'm straight. I'm not gay.
So, and again, these are two buddies talking. And I've said same and similar things to this and the next thing that he's going to say. And I believe that the guy he's talking to, they won't identify him. And I think that guy is a black guy. And I think that's why they're not identifying the other ex-officer. But I'm going to let this play out.
Black people go on Carnival?
No, black people can't. They don't go on.
They can't swim. You got to be able to swim if you go.
Yeah, but they like to just be grounded with their watermelon. They're fried chicken.
Now, again, how many of you listened to that entire thing that they put together and you were like, oh my God? Again, you can talk to 20 of my friends, and we've had same and similar jovial conversations just like that. My friend, I'm not even going to say his name now because I don't want to even get in trouble. But I've had friends try to take me ice fishing, and I'm like, I'm black, dude. We don't do that. What are you talking about? I'm not going to go out on a perfectly good sheet of ice and then fall through. I can't swim. I've had people, white friends, that wanted me to go to, I don't know, a riverboat carnival ride or a riverboat. And I'm like, yeah, black people don't do that. And I've also said things to the same effect. Like, I don't think what he said was homophobic. As a matter of fact, I believe that's a made-up word. I don't even think it's a real word. But he's saying what every red-blooded American male who is under the age of, 60, said, why would I go on a carnival cruise? I'm straight, dude. You know, why would I want to do that? To me, it's unless I was like my wife wants to go. She's been begging me forever to do that, and I'm like, well, one, I'm black. I don't swim, and two, like I'm a red blooded. I'd rather be shooting. I just like I got a boat. I'd rather be fishing, but on the river. You know, I can navigate the river. If I have a hole in my boat, you know, it's the shore is right there. You know, it's right there. But me in an ocean, homie, don't play that. I'm sorry. It is scary to me that conversations like this could get you fired from your current job, and then if you attempt to find another job, you're just nope. I'm not doing a podcast from a cruise because I'm not a homosexual and I'm a black man and I can't swim. My wife will tell you this. My father-in-law just so you understand, is Navy. Proud Navy. Like proud Navy. And he tried to teach me to swim. And I'm just telling you, I don't know what it is. I think it's like bone density or something. I can't tread water. Boom. He was giving me all kind of pointers. He was holding me up, and then he like let me go, and then I'm just I can't do it. And the conversations that me and him had, oh my God. So is my father-in-law a bigot? I married his daughter. So if he is a very bad one. I'm just going to... Good God. We cannot do these things. We can't be taken in by this kind of garbage. Because what it does is, it puts everybody on guard. So you don't actually know who the bad people are. Because everybody's guarded. I love having candid, jovial conversation over libations with my friends. I do not want to live in a world where they are afraid to joke with me, to converse with me, to be loose and light with me because I'm black. And I'll get offended if they say a certain thing. I cannot conceive of a world that is happy with that scenario. I'm telling you, if you are a fly on the wall in some of the conversations that I have with some of my friends, oh my God, this dude was tame by comparison. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Like the stuff we say to each other. Weaker men would cry. I'm gonna leave it at that. Weaker men would cry to their mommies. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna hit one more commercial break, and we're gonna come back and talk about this crazy story. Now, with this next story, I did not pull any video. I don't believe I pulled any video. I'll check because this dude is not my cup of tea. Apparently, he has a huge following, and we'll talk about his following and then what happened. Yeah. Let me know if you've heard of Chud the Builder, Dalton Etherly. And we'll be back to talk about it on the other side of this here break. Give me 1 second. How did I lose that? And I absolutely did. There you go.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor.
Oh, I think that I was attempting to download this video. I think it messed up my my interface here. So, give me a second because I wanted to play this video, and this is directly, you know, the Chud the Builder thing. I thought I downloaded it. I did not, so bear with me, folks, while I get this thing downloaded, and then I will play it. And my computer's just being really, really slow. Well, while this thing uploads, so this guy, he's not like an angel. He's a loud, abrasive, in-your-face streamer. Like, he's one of those guys that you see, and apparently, you know, all over TikTok and Instagram and all those places. You have a bunch of these idiots, and their entire purpose is they go up and they antagonize people. He did the things that the video that I saw. What he would do is he'd use provocative language that most of us, including me, would never use. And he actually says some pretty.
Outside the Montgomery County
Here it
Courthouse
is.
this
Give me a second. So it finally decides to up. Oh my God. Technology. You gotta love it, right? Here, let me get this situated here. Let's do this. All right, let's go. So This was May 13th. He was involved in a confrontation that ended in gunfire. Both of these men were wounded. He faces attempted murder charges. He's claiming self-defense because the other guys, from everything that I could see, these guys knew he was going to be here at this courthouse, and they even put on their social media posts that they were going to get him. And it's because this dude is highly controversial. What I don't know if you know the term chimping out. I know that term, but what he would do is he'd go into a store. There'd be black people there. He'd ask them a question. They speak the way they speak, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I don't understand Ebonics," and it would just go downhill from there. And then he would say some racially inflammatory things, and then like the entire time he's telling them, "Don't chimp out, don't chimp out," and it's a big thing. Like, dude has a massive following. Like, it's not my cup of tea. It's not. But again, free speech is not speech that I like. It also includes speech that I don't like, speech that I would never use, speech that I would find offensive. But in my humble opinion, that still does not give anyone reason to violate your personal freedom, your personal liberty, your personal space, and God forbid, to assault you. It doesn't matter what this guy says. It does not give anyone the right to put their hands on him. And I've had friends of mine ask me, like, what would I do if I were in a similar situation and this chud guy came and he started speaking to me? One, he wouldn't get very far with it because, one, I don't speak Ebonics, and I'm not going to. And if he comes up to me and I know if someone's trying to egg me, I'd speak with him cordially and calmly. If I'm with my family and he uses words that I don't like, I would stop him and I'd be like, "Hey, we're going to go. I got my kid here, got my wife here. If you want to continue this conversation, they can't be here," that sort of thing. But he could say whatever he wants to me, even if it pisses me off. I'm not going to touch him because he has the right to say that. He does. I do not have the right to put my hands on him. So we're going to play this.
Ended with 2 people shot, including a controversial online streamer. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Hunter Hoagland here with Tracy Cornett. And this is something we have been following all afternoon long.
Our Braden Ross has the details from Clarksville tonight and why one witness says this incident did not surprise her.
Grace Roberts was not expecting to run into crime scene tape on her way into the Montgomery County Court Center.
They were like, "Oh, there was a shooting, there was a shooting."
But when she saw who was involved...
It's actually not surprising. It feels like it was one of those things that was bound to happen.
Roberts took this video showing controversial online streamer 28-year-old Dalton Etherly being wheeled away on a stretcher. According to the district attorney general for the area, Etherly and another man got into a fight outside the courthouse, which then escalated into a shooting, although...
So this guy here is Chud. I don't know if you got, that's him. That's Chud.
Fight outside the courthouse, which then escalated into a shooting, although we don't know who pulled the trigger. Both men were shot. One was taken to a hospital in Clarksville. The other was life-flighted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville.
I've noticed for the past couple of months he's been messing around with people with his live streams.
Etherly is known on social media for approaching people in public while live streaming and using racial slurs, claiming to be fighting for freedom of speech.
He just knows how to really get under people's skin. It just looked like one of those moments where he kind of met one of those people that got tired of it.
It's not clear if Etherly was streaming at the time of the altercation Wednesday, but just last weekend he was arrested after allegedly refusing to pay for almost $400 $500 worth of food he ordered while live streaming at a downtown Nashville restaurant. Metro Police say when the restaurant asked him to stop streaming, he started making racial statements, yelling and screaming.
So, all of that other crap makes not a bit of difference to me. What I know about this case is he was there at that courthouse um, because of that other thing. So he's at that restaurant. He's live streaming. I think someone at the restaurant recognized him. So he ordered his food. He was going to pay for it, everything. And the people at the restaurant recognized him. Now, he hadn't used any racial slurs or anything like that up to this point. But then they told him that he could not live stream when everyone else has their phone out pretty much live streaming him. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And then he goes into a shtick. And then the end result of that was him getting kicked out. And he's like, I'm not paying for this food. And I understand that. This dude did not go in there to order food like I've seen some live streamers do, and just kind of run out of there. That's not what he was doing. He wasn't a dine and dash. But so he was there at the courthouse to take care of that. He's claiming self-defense because those other guys did pursue him. Like, they knew he was there because he told people on his social media that he was going to be there taking care of this crap. And then these black guys saw that he was going to be there, posted on their social media that they were going to basically meet him there and F him up. And so I don't know all the details yet. And the courts, they're going to sort that out, I hope. But I do know this. If we start saying that your speech made me so angry that I can chase you down and attack you, then we've just shredded the First Amendment and replaced it with mob rule, in my humble opinion. I mean, and then you think about the double standard. Joy Reid, Don Lemon, folks like that have built their entire career saying racially charged, inflammatory things about white people. Things that would get any average citizen canceled or worse. Nobody's hunting them down in parking lots. Nobody is saying that their words justify physical retaliation. Why? Because the people who hate Chud's style, they lose their mind when the same logic is applied to their side. If Chud's racially insensitive slurs and to be clear, I am on record for not just for years, for the entirety of the conversation around hate speech and hate laws and that sort of thing. I am not for it. I don't believe in that. Because if we have that, that means we don't have free. I happen to think that if you assault someone, it doesn't matter if you're mad at them because they're black, or you're mad at them because they offended you for some reason, or you're mad at them because, I don't know, the sky is blue. You're still mad at them. You still hate them enough to assault them. And the assault is the thing that you should be charged with, not a hate crime. But they want speech they can punish if they hate it. And they want speech that they protect if they don't. That's not freedom. That's tyranny dressed up as feelings. Free speech is not for polite agreeable opinions, like I said. It exists. Our free speech, our First Amendment exists precisely so the most offensive, most uncomfortable, baiting voices can still speak without fear of violence. You don't have to like Chud. I don't. Like, I didn't even know who he was. I don't like his content, though, the little bit that I've seen. I think he's abrasive. I think that because he's dealing with people who have a lack of self-control and are emotionally driven, unfortunately, he's going to have more situations like this if, you know, if he doesn't go to prison. He's going to have, and he continues to do this, he's going to have more, like, horrible altercations like this. But I don't have to watch him. I don't have to like him. I don't have to agree with a single thing that comes out of his face hole. But if you believe in this country and you believe in our Constitution, then you have to defend his right to say the things he says. Because the second you let words or violence become the rule, the next target is you. And this guy, he's not asking for special treatment. He's living in the America we're all supposed to know and love. The one where you can run your mouth, even if you run it like a fool. And the worst that happens is someone calls you an idiot or a chuckle nut. Not puts bullets in you. I mean, let's get the standards straight. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. Violence is violence. And something else. The thing that really cheeses my grits is the fact that hip-hop music is basically founded upon using the N-word and the B-word and the C-word. And not in a loving manner. Like, that's my ninja over there. I love my ninja. No. Most of the time, that word is used in hip-hop culture. It has violent connotations, deadly connotations. And we allow it. It's a profitable industry. It's because a certain community, my community, is too often driven by emotion. And it's sad to say. Now, what I do know about this altercation is, what I could put together is, these guys, because Chud has had people be physical with him before, he is an armed citizen. And that's a whole nother aspect of this. Like, he can legally carry, and he always does. I support his right to carry. I think it's a dumb thing to do when this is your livelihood. Because the chances that you're going to have to use it, and then the Democrats are going to use that incident. Like, I have no idea. I know they're going to try to use this. I already saw online that why was he carrying a firearm so close to a court? Well, because he legally can. But these guys tried to jump him, and from what I can understand, he injured himself, his arm right under here, because as he is being attacked from the front and the back, one of the guys jumped on his back, and he shot him like this. So he injured himself shooting the guy that was on his back. And then obviously, we don't know what happened one of those guys was life flighted out of there, though, so he got shot in the chest. But if it goes down the way I think it went down, then I don't know why this judge is trying to push this murder charge on this attempted murder charge on him, because it's clearly self-defense. Again, it doesn't matter what someone is saying to me. It does not give me the right to assault that person. And if I assault that person, he gets to stand his ground. He gets to not be assaulted by any means necessary. And if there's multiple attackers, then there you go. Again, I'm not a fan of this guy. I think his content is ratchet. I think it's garbage. But I put the rule of law above the emotional reaction that I have when I see this guy's content. His First Amendment is protected, no matter how offensive. And his Second Amendment was there to back up his First Amendment, no matter how offensive. Sometimes I hear music coming out of cars that offends the hell out of me as a Christian black father. And the voice that is spitting those bars are darker than I am. And it is offensive to me. I don't get to snatch that kid out of his whip and crack the curb with his face. I can't do that. I have to recognize his freedom, his liberty, given to him by God and enforced by our Constitution. You have to think that way, logically, legally. And if I put my hands on that person, I should expect him not to want to be assaulted and do whatever's in his power to stop me from assaulting him. And that's it. That's Blackbeard's logic on Chud the Builder. I'm glad you guys hung out with me and stuck it out for that, because I know, like, if you're just looking at the news stories, it looks bad. But again, they want you to have an emotional response. And a response where that document right there goes out the window because I'm in my feelings now. Oh, that guy, the stuff he's saying, I don't like it. So let's cover that thing up for right now. Nope, that's not the way I roll. And it doesn't make me a sellout. I'm sold on the Word of God and that document back there. And that's that. I'll see you fine, folks, this Tuesday, right here on the Due North Political Podcast. I am Leon Francis, your host of Blackbeard Logic for tonight on the Guns in the 701 Network.